A lot of you have been asking me. I've received a lot of messages, a lot of emails saying, what's going on with XPeng? What cars are they going to have in Australia? I'm waiting for this. What cars are they going to have even overseas, potentially in Europe, the UK, right hand drive car markets, left hand drive as well? A lot of people have been saying, when are the cars coming? Now, the truth is, it's changed. Doesn't matter where you live, it's changed. The delivery dates have changed because, or the actual timelines have changed because of updates to the product. Basically, if you thought in the past, well, the new car is going to come in this month or this particular time, that's changed because of the fact, well, I'll get to why. There's one very crucial reason that nobody has mentioned. I don't think anyone seems to actually know. And I'm probably not meant to say this, but you know me, guys, I just say it. It's the way I am. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to have you with us. As you guys know, I do have an XPENG G6, but there is a new version out. I have done a review on that. I've done a review on the new Mona, test drove the new G6, test drove the new Mona. I'll put links in the description, but those videos are up on the channel. I've also test driven the new G9. I've also test driven the new P7 Plus. But yeah, the timelines have changed for delivery because one key reason, the new models, they have, of course, new features and changes that people want. I mean, people want the new models. So Xpeng is saying, well, let's not deliver those older model cars, previous generation cars to customers. Let's not deliver the cars, now or this year. Let's actually get them the new models, get them the new batteries to global markets, to countries like Australia, UK, other countries, etc. So there's a lot of people getting annoyed. They're saying, where are the cars? I want one of these cars. And as you would, I mean, let's be honest, there's in some of these niches, there's nothing at that level. There really isn't. If you want an alternative to the Tesla, if you don't want to buy a Tesla, I think your only real alternative to the Tesla Model Y is really an Xpeng G6 based on price, performance. They're very, very similar cars. The G6 is obviously better value all around. I don't think there's any question about that. And there's nothing else that's really similar. There's all these different other options and choices, but the truth is nothing else that's really similar. But you don't want to really get the older model, if you're going to get delivery in 6 months. You want to get the newer model. So that's what's happening. But here's the thing. All models have been updated. So the G6 has been updated. The P7 Plus has been updated. The G9 has been updated. The X9 has been updated. There's also a hybrid coming next year. And here's the other thing. These new models are using new batteries. For some reason, I'm not sure why, Xpeng haven't mentioned this, but I was told by some sources from Xpeng, I'm not going to say who they are, obviously, they told me these models need a new type of battery that's able to handle charging at 500 and about 500 to 600 kilowatt charging speed. So these new cars, all of them are capable of 500 to 600 kilowatt charging speeds. So they need new batteries. And that's the biggest bottleneck, getting these new batteries from the battery manufacturer. As a result, Xpeng have had to pause production of the G7. So the G7, it's like a in-between size car, it's actually a similar size to the Xpeng G9. Anyhow, I'll put a link in the description if you haven't seen the Xpeng G7 of what that car is. So Xpeng have paused deliveries of that because of this bottleneck and because, they've got these other new models coming out of these other cars. So the G7, as a result, I believe, won't come out until the end of this year, possibly even next year. So here's what's also happening. Xpeng are also putting their new full self-driving chip in all their cars. All of them are getting it. It's called their Turing chip. And it's a bit more advanced than Tesla's full self-driving chip. Does it mean Xpeng cars will have better full self-driving than Tesla? No, it doesn't mean that at all. The chip is more advanced, though. There's no question about that. The compute speeds, what it's capable of, is unquestionably a higher compute speed. And really, from what the data I can see, the chip is smarter than Tesla's full self-driving version 4 chip. But that doesn't mean this full self-driving will be better. I don't think it will be better. It just means that it'll be quite good and it should be able to rival Tesla. That chip will go in all Xpeng cars, but that decision has only been made recently. So therefore, as you can imagine, that's another issue. So the Turing chip going into all cars, that's maybe a little bit of a bottleneck. And then the battery issue. And that's part of the reason why these cars have been delayed for Australia and other countries. Could be good news. I mean, got to be patient. It's frustrating. Maybe you need a car right now. If you do, just go out and buy the regular G6, which I own. But I mean, honestly, and obviously there's other models of cars you can get as well. But the truth is, I think that these cars are worth waiting for. Now, having a look at the actual dates and timelines, there is an article here from drive.com.au. This is kind of general speak. I'm not really convinced that in the veracity of all these claims, but let's just have a look at what they've said, and I'll tell you whether or not what they've said is actually true. The new G6 should be here by approximately the end of this year. So that gives you a timeline. The new G6, approximately the end of this year. I think that's about correct. Probably between, I estimate, October to December of this year. Now, this is basically an educated guess. Battery size has been increased in the base model from 66 kilowatt hours to 68.5 kilowatt hours, meaning it has 45 kilometers more range in CLTC's testing. So it's going to come with about 470 kilometers of range. That's going to be a really good value car because it's $55,000 in Australia. The long range version, though, the battery goes from 87.5 kilowatt hour size down to 80.8. It's a different battery, and that means the range goes down by 25 kilometers CLTC. Range will go down by about 10 kilometers, so down to 560 kilometers. But charging speed goes up, of course. And, you know, they may even put smaller wheels on the car. If you went down to 19-inch wheels, then you would actually be able to get a boost in range. Anyway, those are the details. That's the G6. G9. The G9 is, well, okay, one, it comes in 3 versions. Range, 625 kilometers for the all-wheel drive performance model, 725 kilometers for the rear-wheel drive. So 720, that's CLTC. So you're probably looking at about 620 kilometers WLTP rear-wheel drive. G9, pricing is going to approximately start at about $80,000 here in Australia. I'd expect delivery for the G9 to be about the end of the year, potentially the first couple of months of next year. That's my guess. I don't actually know on that model, but that's based on what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing, putting all the information together. I'd say the end of this year, but I'd say between November, December, January, February, in that 4-month period is when we're going to see the G9. What about the X9? Well, there's a brand new X9. Now, guys, all these cars have actually been updated within the last couple of months, but the X9 is the most recent vehicle to be updated. I was there at the brand launch in Hong Kong about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks actually now, I think it was. No, a week and a half ago. And the new X9 is unquestionably the best MPV in the world. It doesn't matter. There is nothing that compares to it for the price. And maybe even the best car, period, possibly, regardless. I mean, it's an incredibly good vehicle. Price is going to start at approximately 90,000 Australian dollars. There's nothing that competes with this. Nothing. In any market outside of China, there's nothing that competes on price, on range, on luxury. I really think this feels like a luxury car, and it drives like one too. What about range? Well, range is 740 kilometers on the longer range version with the slightly bigger battery. That's CLTC. So range WLTP will be about 630 kilometers. And price is going to start at about 90,000 Australian dollars. I mean, as I just said, it's an incredibly good value for money considering on the inside of this car, if you compared the interior of this car, if you looked at it, everything and all the details, all the sound system, the actual screens in this car, the way this car drives, the suspension, the air suspension, adaptive and predictive air suspension, this thing destroys a Kia Carnival. I mean, it makes the Kia Carnival look like a budget cheap car. It makes it look like some sort of affordable car from Russia. I'm serious. It really does. It is so much better. The difference is staggering. It's honestly like being in economy class or being in first class. It's so much better than other cars you can buy right now. If you're in the market for an MPV or a van, I would absolutely wait because it is just like you can say, look at the G6, the G9. There's rivals to those cars. They're not bad too. They're pretty good. In this segment, there is nothing. The only thing that compares with this, is the Zeekr 009, but that is $45,000 more expensive. So, yeah, that explains it to you. Now, guys, I want to confirm, I don't get paid from Xpeng. Nothing. I went on a trip to China for sure. They pay for that. That's the same for all journalists. So they paid for hundreds of journalists to go on that trip. And I've done the same thing with other companies as well, Geely, Zeekr, and others. Anyhow, what's next? Well, the P7 Plus. The P7 Plus, I think, is going to come by about the end of 2026. And the reason I say that is because there is a new P7 Plus coming. I'm not allowed to say this, but no, well, I mean, they can't fire me. They can't fire me. So this proves that I was told not to say anything. And I saw the new P7 Plus testing driving around in China. So there's a new P7 Plus coming. And as a result, that's not even out yet. They'll wait for that new model to come out. And what's going to happen is that new model, my guess would be it'll come out probably 6 months from now. So I'm going to guess that probably a year and a half from now, maybe a year from now, is when the P7 Plus should come to Australia. The Mona, I mean, I was told by Xpeng Australia the Mona was going to come, but I'm not so sure about that anymore. It does seem very, very possible that the Mona could come, but I think the most likely scenario, by the way, the Mona is a fantastic car for the money, $16,500 US. It is one of the best cars in terms of handling that I've ever driven. It feels like kind of feels like a hot hatch in a way. Anyway, there is an SUV version that's coming, and that is the car that I think Xpeng are planning on selling in numerous countries outside of China. That's going to come to Australia. I've heard that's going to come to Australia. So the SUV version of the Mona 03, and that's going to be I think the SUV version in China is about 18,000 US. You might see that come to Australia for about 45,000 Australian dollars for what will be, a really, really good value car to compete with something like the Toyota RAV4, but it's going to be better. So that gives you a timeline, guys, of when cars are coming. I hope that helps. Mona SUV won't be here, I'd say, until the end of 2026. This year, by the end of this year, we're going to see, I think, the new G6 and the G9. That's the most likely thing to happen. Next year, we're going to see the X9, the P7 Plus, and possibly also the Mona SUV. So that's Xpeng's rollout. That's not just Australia. I believe that's going to be numerous countries around the world. Hope that helps. Thanks for watching.